We got concerts to see. And a trip coming up for the Sacramento San Joaquin Delta. Then back to Ensenada, where we were for 9/11. And to Mazatlan for Christmas. We got plans, Jack. But today you die. And the plans turn into dreams. This one was printed, thank heavens for the wonderful people, by Jim and his wife, and put in the one of our great anthologies of the time. And it was written on my way back with Jack from Ensenada and 9/11. Barstool Patriots. After the towers fell, Babylon was changed. With orders from on high, freedom will suffer the pain. In Ensenada, news of terror drew native stares. On Tripper's return, the toll for terror sunk in. Hate struck on buses. Shops shuddered in the wake. Movement at a standstill. Only drunk and stupid survived. Barstool proclamations of serving the cause that we'll go kill if we're called. But their cheeks never left the stools. The bullshit ran thicker. Standing patriotic flags covered our country. Real action was vacant-eyed. War declared on an enigma. History shows ideas don't die. Thoughts of this war, thoughts of the war on drugs lasting 100 years, and now this insanity could last forever, strengthening the idiots on both sides. Victims enjoying more than lives. The biggest loss is to freedom, where those in power attack speech, censor information, fan our fears. The fire engulfs a Bill of Rights. Big Brother's police state just got a boost. As control takes over free thinking and people shelter in place.
Thank you, JC. JC from Santa Cruz. Nice to hear your voice and nice to hear you back. All right, let me just read the next few as we have them coming up. We have Tom Holmberg, then Hal Robbins coming back for the open. Greg, Clara, Jimmy, Garrett, and Karen, who just showed, and that's going to be Grace. Remember, one of the themes tonight is Amazing Grace, Black History Month we've heard about, so that's good. Give him a nice round of applause as he comes up here to take the mic and give us a lot of I can't wait till it's what do you call it? St. Patrick's Day, then they can do that voice with a reason.
Hi there, I'm Tom Holmberg. I'm happy to be with you again. And I thank you for your
inspiration.
Oh, yeah. Masha. All that work in pencil is now in ink. No need to rewrite it. The start is the finish. Full circle, those desires.
Nicely done.
A piece of paper can cut your finger. A piece of paper can make you leap for joy, depending on what is on it. If you could be next door, and I wouldn't know you. You could be on the other side of the planet, and your heart might be next to mine.
Nice.
Do you think if cigarettes hadn't been invented, would there still be a demand for them? Sometimes you need a little space to figure things out. I know some pretty smart people who are a little bit spacey. Restraint is the better part of what?
Yeah.
Did you hear what I meant to say or what you thought I meant to say?
Yes.
Always what you thought.
That's what I think.
Do you ever question life and not want an answer? but just a response? That's funny, huh?
I've been there. So's he. So's he. He's been there.
There is an argument for just about everything you can choose. Love isn't everything, just almost.
Yeah.
Limeade is good. Citric acid is good in moderation.
That's good.
A friend who gave advice. My friend said, pace yourself. I wore a path on the carpet. In a hurry. We have to go. Wait a minute. I haven't shaved yet. We have to go anyway.
Where have I heard that before? Holmberg. All right. So, segueing from that, we have Hal coming back up for his open mic. Then we have Greg, Clara, Jimmy, Garrett, and Karen being the closer for the evening. So, Mr. Hal Robbins, would you kindly step forward, please? Or, yes, step forward, please, and give him a there.
Thank you. Coronach by Sir Walter Scott. He is gone on the mountain. He is lost to the forest, like a summer dried fountain when our need was the sorest. The font reappearing from the raindrops shall borrow, but to us comes no cheering, to Duncan no morrow. The hand of the reaper takes the ears that are hoary, but the voice of the weeper wails manhood in glory. The autumn winds rushing waft the leaves that are searest, but our flower was in flushing when blighting was nearest. Swift foot on the corrie, sage counsel encumber, red hand in the foray. How strong is thy slumber, like the dew on the mountain, like the foam on the river, like the bubble on the fountain, thou art gone and forever.
Nice.
Well, from the grace of joy to the grace of remembrance, finally to this short one from Louise Bogan, a wonderful poet, about the grace of poetry itself. Come, drunks and drug takers, come, perverts, unnerved, receive the laurel, given on merit, though late, to whom and whoever deserved. Parochial punks, trimmers, nice people, joiners, true blue, get the hell out of the way of the laurel. It is deathless, and it isn't for you. Thank you.
So that's last week's and that's this week's, so vice versa. Pen. Okay, you got it. All right. All right, thank you, Hal. Mr. Pond, would you kindly come up here? Then we have Clara, Jimmy, Garrett, and Karen, so we're closing in on it. I love these calm, quiet, maudlin moments. Wait, not maudlin moments. I was going to think of a different N word. Magnificent. That's the N word.
He can be maudlin too. It's okay.
Maudlinly magnificent.
I'm going to need
If it's good maudlin.
Oh, yeah, hold on a second. Here you. It'll be right there. You'll see.
In keeping with the theme of the evening, Amazing Grace, I thought about this poem that I had read a while ago by Allen Ginsberg. And this is entitled New Stanzas for Amazing Grace.
Oh, nice.
I will not sing it though.
Oh.
I dreamed I dwelled in a homeless place where I was lost alone. Folks passed right through me into space and passed with eyes of stone. Oh, homeless hand on many a street, accept this change for me. A friendly smile or word as sweet as fearless charity. Woe working man who hears the cry and cannot spare a dime, nor look into a homeless eye, afraid to give the time. So rich or poor, no gold to talk, a smile on your face. The homeless ones where you may walk receive amazing grace. I dreamed I dwelled in a homeless place where I was lost alone. Folks looked right through me into space and passed with eyes of stone.
Wow.
Okay, and now with the other part of the theme. This is a poem that's kind of a follow-up to a poem that I wrote several years ago that was called Harlem Garden, Garden. And this one is entitled Harlem Guarding, Guarding. Back in Harlem again. No garden this time, just my Afrocentric friend and I walking, talking along the by and by, checking out who, remembering when, wondering what's with all the new boutiques and cutesy spots popping up on side streets. New visions of a culture fading in the shadows of deferred dreams. The locked store shops that stop welcoming those who look like me. My African-clad friend confers, it's enough to make you sad if it doesn't make you scream. People priced out of once affordable homes that some once owned. Now most don't earn salaries that would even make a dent to cover the annual increase landlords add to the monthly rent. So finally down to their last few cents, too many had to pack up and leave. Harlem's still the same in many ways, but man, how Harlem sure has changed. Strolling out at about 4 o'clock, 125th Street, busy as can be. Though I have to admit, the loss of local landmarks, a bit of a shock. Plus the growing number of white folks walking dogs and living on each block. And everywhere you look now, there's a more visible presence of cops guarding their property and precious lives like they never guarded yours or mine. I recall feeling a little hollow seeing Metallica's name instead of the Roots displayed on the marquee of the Apollo, and feeling somewhat like a foreigner noticing European-style cafes suddenly on every other corner. I know the changing face of Harlem is something to behold, but just because its face may change shouldn't make it lose its soul. Harlemites with deep roots support family restaurants and sacred pews. A shrinking history is all they feel they've got. They cling to the tight, to the tried and true, because they don't fit the new, a legacy down to a few bars, barber, and beauty shops. But if we stop to listen, we can hear something clicking, maybe the ticking of the ancestral clock saying, it's not too late, there's still a way to keep Harlem great if we give it our best shot. But I hear my African-oriented friend mourning the loss and sensing the end of a community no longer vibrant in the way it was back then. And though we recognize the shift from Renaissance memories to new tech glitz, there's a fear that much of the history will get scared right off the cliff. It's enough to break your heart. It's enough to make you wish you knew Harlem back in the day, before jazz and blacks and blues were forced to vacate because they couldn't pay the cost and were made to walk across St. Nicholas to hear Duke play Satin Doll and take the A train. And so it was, and now it is. When gentrification comes to any town, only the last ones around ever win. Those that bring the money will have the most to say as soon as the old guard and past relics die off or get replaced. The very thought haunts my friend who sleeps with Africa in her veins. She says, may the ghosts of our ancestors remain to stand guard, so old memories don't escape through the new gates of Harlem. Thank you.
Oh, great clap, ladies and gentlemen. That voice. That voice. People say he's the voice. I like that. And now we have Clara Sue, who will sing and speak in strains so sweet. And she does not have the blues. I tried to make something rhyme out of that. Thank you so much. Give her a nice round, please.
He comes with many views.
Thank you. Thank you. And next we have, after Clara, we have Jimmy over there. I can't see him from here. Jimmy, you're ready. All right.
Wake up.
All right. He's alive. Thank you, Clara.
Well, I knew Masha. We were had a lot of correspondence at one point, and I helped her finish publishing her book by the Attitude Press. So her book is actually online right now at Amazon, if anybody wants to get it. If you search under Revolution per Minute to the one I love, Masha Campbell, and you'll find the book.
Okay.
Masha was an amazing poet. She was one of the ones that I really admired at Sacred Grounds. When you hear her poems, you could see pain just stare at you, except for the one that Wendy read. That one was lovely. But you also feel her passion, and she never stopped loving. She never stopped singing, even though she had throat cancer. And I'd like to read this one poem by her. It was published by Caveat Lector. I don't remember exactly what year it was published, but thematic appreciation of evil. That I might sit by you without you raising your eyebrows after you pretended not to see me. The one you're looking for isn't here. You've gone. Someone tells me I don't have a job here anymore. A rainstorm comes into the house. Something catches on fire. I see you as a blue strip of light coming towards me. You only think about sex. Sex is the only thing you don't think about. The cancer creeping into my throat. How many months now of the bronchial cough, of being unable to sing? The medical center. The doctors smile as I greet them. The MRI, the CAT scan are next. In these hot amber bloods rose the tenements of your forgiveness, like bone marrow heart out of my hip. I am like a boy with 48 hours of solitude and a gun to fool. Bad little boy. Mascara. My mascara drips as though I were a clown. How my jaws bounce as if I were licking my wound. Figures pass in the dark. In the distance, a saguaro falls. The needle has drawn blood unheard. Several voices. My throat is clotted with roses, mixed with dream of spit in funereal pine. I should have rented this life, since this one is only temporary mine.
Nice. All right, Sue. You, Marsha Campbell, thank you. All right. So, Jimmy Mankind, our mini feature reading is coming up now. Give him a round of applause. Here's some books. And then after that, we have Garrett Murphy and Karen Melanda Magoon being the Clincher Closer Super Duper Bulldozer. What?
I say Jimmy,
Oh.
be good tonight.
Yeah, well.
Mankind. Mankind.
I got a story. It's called Under the Apple Tree. I remember an English poet, but not his name, and his wife, each in love, wanted to be buried next to each other, and an apple tree planted over each grave. Oh, those trees bloomed like 1,000 poems each year over the years. And then the Queen decided their bodies should be moved to London, to the royal graveyard for burial at state, so to speak. So they dug up the trees and found, to their dismay and surprise, the roots had formed a perfect 3D outline of the two bodies, which were just buried, wrapped in a sheet. Now all white and prosperous in death, not unlike they had been in life. Oh, went the Queen. Put it all back. Fix it. Make them grow again. And bring me an apple from each tree, and we'll plant it here in our garden. And more. Bring us all the apples. No, a bushel for the empire, and leave the rest for the people, so they should know and they could walk by and have some nurture from these great English writers. I remember this English poet, not his name, and his wife, in love, wanted to be buried to each other. And how those trees bloomed. Put it all back. Fix it. Make them grow again. Bring me an apple from each tree, and we'll plant it here in our garden. and it'll be here forever.
Thank you.
That was a double print that I had to exercise because I don't know why the computer started it all over again. It's a much shorter poem.
I thought it was a reprise.
It kind of could have been. This one is a reprise.
All right.
That's the way today.
This is called The Tiny Rabbit, This Fox, and the New Habit. This time, this person, this phone, these people, this tiny rabbit, this fox, this space, this comfort, this pox. Hurry up, these are the last locks on this joy, this girl, this boy. This happy, this earth, this harm, this charm, this water, this air, this life, this hope, this wish, this religion, this reality under these religions, an embarrassment of bad guesses. This room for living, this way, this Tao, this method, this system, these ideals, and those who failed to connect with a connection by this truth, this art, this poetry, each word relinquished, one by one, set free, pushed out of the nest into the world, which cannot lie. This and that liar, this human being, this liar, to be still in the stillness, to live and die for something good, is to live for this spirit of this time, this eternity. 2, 4 of us, which is the latest lie in response to this attack from this undead past upon this unborn future, of this knowing, of this work, on this responsibility we call this earth. Our God, your God, their God, oh joy, you are God, and thank you for reminding me not to forgive, nor to apologize, not to say this sorry, this price for this peace, by this past of our crime, only selfish, only power, uber alles. We have to admit we're killing this peace. We have to kill this past for our baby's peace, to live here in their spirit, for their unknown future, this reboot, this prognosis, this cure, this joy, start over. This time, this person, this fun, this time is ours. About poetry. Make love to the new one. Make love to the new one when she drops by and I feel like it's time. When one comes over me and I get so high. I like to sleep with them before I let them go free. I'm a bad poet in bed, a danger to the society. I can stalk one for days, weeks before I run up and grab her. Then I try to catch the minx and put her down on the sheets all white and clean. I don't like to stretch her out too much, but sometimes she plays hard to get. She's either genius or really just cranky. I need to capture her every part, in particular particle, and drag her around and pull her into the shape I like. I wish I could reverse it, let her lead me where she'd like to unfold me, but she won't even call out my name unless I push her around too much and she yells, "Stop, Jimmy." I must want her too much. It's not healthy, but I'm keen on this one. Her, you're reading, in a box, if I can hold her down long enough. I only need an hour with her. No more. I'm satisfied. Make that daily, usually just before dawn comes over. But by then, I can't let her go. Know what I mean? My quotidian quotables thrill me too much. Sometimes it's me and her getting all tangled up in the sheets. 8.5 by 11. Me tossing our art all over the floor. She always performing in the end, but I hate her when it's a struggle. Sometimes I leave her tied down for a while and roll off the bed and take care of another one for myself. I go for a walk alone, leaving her lying there in one place, but I do my best work in bed, so I make her wake up, if it's not coming easy. Usually I'm pretty quick though, and they say the first time is the best one. And I can't stay down on it forever. Sometimes I'm humbled by the experience. Many times, I'm sometimes like a baby, sucking out every little gambit, seeking some satori ending and maybe my release. Restoring, a restart, a replanting the seeds of more later. Mostly just more, and I cry like a baby for sure. Sometimes I have to bang on her for hours just to get it right. To get her right. It's about the rhythm all through the night. More than the meaning than the body of work, short and sweet. We're both only exchanging sweetness for sweat. And repeat, I can never spell right. And all the questions more than the answers. It's a mystery to men. What's it all about? It's like love. Well, good, surreal source of all life. Something so powerful you can never get enough of it. So get used to it. No one ever wrote the perfect poem, even in bed.
There you go, Jimmy. There we go. Jimmy.
I'll be back to get that.
All right. And now, if that wasn't good enough for you, we have Garrett Murphy followed by Karen. So, Garrett Murphy, come on up here and kick it. We'll take care of these fabulous prizes. And of course, we have our feature next week. I'll tell you about. Give him another round. This guy.
Well, this first piece, right, in a sense, some of what we must be feeling about, Masha's passing. And then it's this is called Nuts in Charge.
Oh, yeah.
The world is in need of so many things. The times they are waiting and they're crucial to boot. Our survival as we know it is open to question if the nuts are in charge of the cookie jar.
And the nuts are in charge of the cookie jar.
And the nuts are in charge of the cookie jar. And the nuts are in charge of the cookie jar. The bullies have been turned into the heroes of the world. McCarthy has come to this in his treason. A crisis at the trucking leadership is sore needed, but the nuts are in charge of the cookie jar.
And the nuts are in charge of the cookie jar. And the nuts are in charge of the cookie jar.
And the
Nuts are in charge of the cookie jar.
The genocidal maniacs now have a field day. Respondents are because they feel they have nothing left to lose, though the blame them for the victims of oppressors instead, for the nuts are in charge of the cookie jar.
And the nuts are in charge of the cookie jar. And the nuts are in charge of the cookie jar.
And the
Nuts are in charge of the cookie jar.
Now, if you see the profilers out there their chops of all the dark hued and non-Christians on the menu, and you say it's okay, just a tanning coming in, then you must be a nut in the cookie jar.
Then you must be a nut in the cookie jar.
And you
Must be a nut in the cookie jar.
And you must be a
Nut in the cookie jar.
And that's an homage to Black History Month. Or yet another one, this is called G Says Gina. G says Gina, we are just so surprised. We had absolutely no idea that our Negro folk were so sad about life here. Gee, how is it that they weren't as satisfied as we were with their hospitality towards sparing us all our mundane work? We thought they were happy as we were about being in a lower status than we. Gee, it was just a little cross. You know, just a little prank. Gee, for all we knew, the good boys were simply planning her life for Halloween. Ah, gee, they shouldn't have been so sensitive about good old boy Reed's joshing about erasing them with the stroke of a pen. You know he's always going off like that. Couldn't they see he's just a joke? And gee whiz, how were we to know they didn't like the initiation in the early darky manhood? You know, maximum sentencing and all. They could be just a tad grateful. Why, we rushed them ahead of our own. Is that not what affirmative action is all about? Oh, gee willikers, I guess the times have caught up with us. No more fun and games with Mr. Crow. Our dream has come to a crashing end. Everyone's looking and talking now, even with our strongest supporters and years in power. We're just going to have to get used to the terms black and African American, let alone sir, madam, Mr., Ms., Doctor, or even the dreaded first name.
The dreaded first name. And now our clincher closer super duper bulldozer of the evening, Miss Karen Melander Magoon, shall hold forth here, and we'll take care of these prizes. Give her a nice one. There she comes up here.
I actually lost the first page to this as I was running up here, and then I had to write it over again. But I had to do something amazing gracefully. So
Amazing Gracely?
Yeah, amazing gracefully. So this is pig, swine. Why such ugly words for pink silk beauty, brilliant mind, yet blessed with hooves that cannot pen a symphony? Hummingbird, swallow, swan, lovely words, yet smaller brains, cannot compare with humus snuffling snouts, amazing grace of wallowing ones. I once saw a small child kiss a pig's wet snout. Affection and affinity of species pig and child, amazing grace. Nameless in knowledge, they should be friends.
Nice.
And then thank you. Then this one was awaiting grace that I just got from my computer, and then I realized it really had very little to do with Black History Month. But this is when the 47 were killed, the Sheikh and the 46 other Sunnis. And in that, just a few weeks before that, we have all of these Saudi sentencings with Ashraf Fayyad and so forth. So that was why I wrote this. This was the very first weekend of January. The beginning, the very beginning, like the New Year, the beginning weekend of January. And it rained in San Francisco. Breathing in rain, inhaling life, pristine pockets emptying from rosy dark sky, damp, blinding drops of pulsing moisture, penetrating every naked pore, face and hands, welcoming rain, welcoming clean memories to be made across the Arabian Sea, Red Sea, Gulf of Aden, Persian Gulf, await cleansing that will not come. 4 dozen men less one are executed on a dry, warm day, absent rain, absent blessing in the land of Mecca, land of holy pilgrimage, flowers of holiness cut from vibrant stems to drip red salt upon a yielding earth, opening her arms to catch those drops of grace, stretching further still to cast her shadow on the poet's cell. Farad, I am your mother too. I wait beneath the prison that cannot claim your voice. I wait and watch here where no pristine rain may fall, no cleansing fount may purify those who cut the radiant blossoms from their stems. I wait, my pores exhale the rosy sky across the sea from other worlds. My arms reach out to raise your soul into a pristine night, and all I breathe is poetry and pulsing drops of blinding light. Awaiting grace. And now this is my last one, so this is audience participation. Who locked up grace? Mohammed al-Kek on hunger strike for 90 days to contest arrest by Shin Bet and imprisonment without charges. He is dying. Dying as witness against extrajudicial detention, against injustice. Who locked up grace and mercy? Who locked up grace? Israel claims to be the most moral country in the world. What are our standards of morality when children are tortured and killed in their own villages and held without trial? Who locked up grace and mercy? Who locked up grace? Children die on the Mediterranean trying to find a place to live, to find food and homes. 80 people in our country killed in 3 days. More than one person each hour. Who locked up grace? mercy? Who locked up grace? She knocks at the doors of prison, she knocks at the doors of hate, she knocks and knocks, but she can't get in. No one holds the key to that gate. Who locked up grace and mercy? Who locked up the gate to grace? Who locked up grace and mercy? Who locked up grace? Because of Obama, who did such a beautiful thing with Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace, Charleston, 9 victims, a president, a silence to remember, a song to embrace, the never forgetting of remembering.
Darren Melander McGill, thank you. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this. We have one final thing to do, a couple announcements. Simple announcement. Oh, there's that. Yeah. So this is the mail-in sign-in sheet if you want to do that at your own leisure. If you want to find Masha's books, this is the way you do that. These are the prizes for the evening. A beautiful, notice the cover, it's a map of San Francisco, but inside it's blankets for in case you want to write, something like that. Anais Nin, A Spy in the House of Love.
Very interesting book, actually.
2 almost random collections of haiku by me that I printed out in error, but so I'm giving them away. Wildlife and the lure of the limerick, sorry. And last but certainly not least, you can be the menu feature next week if you so desire. If none of those suit you, you can take the last word, be the absolute last person to speak. Choose next week's theme or be the keynote. Those are, you just let me know which one of those you want. You don't take the card. You say, that's the one I want, and I write your name down. Now, if you signed up, thank you. Can you shuffle those really quick and just give them a couple back? If you signed up, there's a number next to your name. The cards have a number. I shuffle the card, pick a number, and then we figure out who takes one.
Very, 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 very simple, ladies and gentlemen. And drum roll, please, for the first winner.
Hiya! Oh, sorry, JC, you are the first winner of the evening. Please step forward to take your pick of these prizes.
Down over Hawaii.
Oh, sorry. He takes my haiku. Thank you so much.
That's a reprise.
Buford.
Yeah, I want this.
There we go. Hey, they're going like hotcakes. Garrett Murphy, please come and decide what you might like, my dear.
I always try to figure out who's going to take what. I'm usually not very good at that. Nice Ningo.
Mr. Bob Dewhurst.
Mr. Bob Dewhurst, Mr. Bob Dewhurst, will you please step forward to the white courtesy telephone, please? Bob Dewhurst, white courtesy telephone.
Explain, Dan.
Explain.
Isn't that 10-minute show? You can sing all night.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
What are these for?
That last of these had his own thing.
Well, no, you can do this.
You can dance.
What
Give
are
him
these?
dancing.
Okay. Yes, give me these.
Comedy.
Well,
You write it?
Yeah, these are all jokes.
No, it's
Okay, haiku, he says. All right, Mr. Greg Pond.
Mr. Greg Pond to the white courtesy telephone.
Yeah, Mr. Pond.
He goes to the limerick.
Not about your name.
Okay, so here's my. No, it goes like this. Did you hear of the Bishop of Tours? Well, Bishop of Kings. Did you hear about the Bishop of Kings, whose mind should have been on heavenly things, but his heart was on fire for a boy in the choir, whose ass was like jello on stretch. Sorry about that. Tom Holmberg.
That's a sore point. You gotta watch it.
I'm sorry. To all the people out there who I just offended, I'm sorry that I offended you.
Don't worry.
But they thought it was funny.
You've offended the best.
So you have this or Wildlife or the keynote, mini feature, choosing the theme of the last one. He goes for wildlife. Wildlife!
Well, look at it.
Magdalena's not here at the
He's a
moment.
wild man.
Hal Robbins.
Oh, Mr. Robbins.
Mr. Robbins, any one of these choices are yours to make, should you choose to make them. So you can choose, but have the last word, the theme, any feature. Okay. Hal Robbins takes the mini feature. Thank you, Hal. All right, and la la la. Richard Sanderell.
Keynote.
Keynote. La 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 do da. David, are you still here? Does David go? David went. Hiya. Clara? Clara's
Clara's in the restroom.
Oh, well, let her know. We have to let her know she won.
I think she was very disappointed.
Robert Smith.
Really, what's left?
Well, you can choose. You can do the keynote next week, or you can choose next week's theme or the last word.
I'm the keynote.
Oh, sorry. No, you can choose choose the next week's theme, or if you're going to hear next week, you can choose to have the last word.
What's the last word?
The last word is means you're the absolute last person to perform, so you have the last word.
I see. And the other one?
The other one is you pick next week's theme. You decide what it is, and that's what it is.
All right.
What would you like? You want to do the theme?
I'll do the theme.
You have to let me know what it is before.
Yes.
Okay.
Do I have to let you know now, or can I think about it?
You can think about it.
Okay.
And is let's see.
You got 24 hours, and that's it.
JJ, do you want to be here next? Would you like to be here next week and get the last word? That's the other thing we prize. That's what. Just asking because your name came up and that's what's there. So.
I can't be sure. I can't be sure. I don't think I better tell you that.
Okay, I wanted to let you know that you did, but I didn't know what your certain.
I will get the last word next week. So.
Yes, you will get the absolute last word.
A prize by any other name.
Karen, would you like the last word next week?
The last word next week.
Yes, I'm just asking because I know the scheduling is difficult.
Yeah, I mean, yes. But if I can't, can you do it? It's because I'm leaving a day late after.
Okay, if you're here, you'll do it. If you're not here, I'll do it.
Yeah, and the last word is the last word.
The very last thing, so no one else gets a gainsay.
That's it.
Close it.
I left out a page of who locked up Grace and Mercy.
Oh, no. Well, see you then next week. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for being here. Next week we have Bill Bartnow as a teacher, a really great East Bay poet. And then we have Hal Robbins as the mini, Richard as the keynote, me as the clincher closer, super duper bulldozer, or Karen of the Marines. 7 p.m. next week, same bat time, same bat station.
Bill Bartnow, hey! Over the East Bay. Yes.
So, Claire, well, let me turn this off.
All right, I have a theme for you.
All right.